What if you stopped telling yourself stories that contradict your heart? I'll say it again. Stop telling yourself stories that contradict your heart. Stop it. It's so simple, but it's not easy. Why? Because you've heard me talk about this all the time. The thoughts that we have access to are the thoughts that we think on a repetitive basis, right? And it's hard also because we're invested in these stories that we tell ourselves. But these stories are not based in fact. I'll just do a little bit of a review, remember? We give them so much credence because we tell them to ourselves all the time. The business is hard, it's never going to happen for me, I'm too fill in the blank people. I don't have the right reps, I have 0 representatives, I'm talentless, I've been doing it for so long and I still haven't gotten a break, etc., etc. You guys, those are just thoughts that are on automatic pilot. We have science has shown that we have 70 to 85,000 thoughts a day that just are regurgitated thoughts. That doesn't mean they're true. It doesn't mean they're true. I can walk around having the thought that I am Sylvester Stallone. I'm not. It's not a factual thought. It's not based in truth. You know what stories that you need to tell yourself that are based in truth are stories that come from the heart, which is the real reason why you're here. Here on the planet, and here, I think, at the studio, and here being called to be an actor. Telling stories of the heart. Why do you want to create? Why is it meaningful? Why do you want to connect? Why do you want to get out there in the world and show people your body of work? Those are all stories of the heart, but you're not wired to them only because the stories that you reach for are the stories that you've been telling yourself over and over and over again. I think it's just really simple. Stop telling them. Stop telling them. They're fiction. And I think, you guys, the interesting thing about the heart is heart stories are forged in the stillness. They're forged in being silent with yourself. They're the tiny little ahas or promptings that you feel that force you or encourage you. They don't force you. They encourage you to go on in spite of oftentimes the things that are happening out in the external world, right? I was telling class last night that I thought, this is what made me think about it, because I thought, why is our culture so obsessed with spinning neuroses? You have to stop doing it. Why are we invested in telling stories that keep us scattered and chaotic and frenetic and neurotic and in our heads? And that's not the true state of who we are as human beings. You are not your thoughts, people. You're not your thoughts. And that the challenge in life is only you have governance over them. I can't reach into your mind and make you stop thinking destructive stories that for some reason you have a payoff in telling. You've got to stop telling that story. Let me end it with just one other way of thinking about it. I always talk about paradigms. I always teach about changing the paradigms. And my analogy always is I like to use the 80s. Izzy texted me when I was in New York teaching last week or the week before, and she was like, oh, I think we need to do paradigm shifts. And so much of my work is about shifting the paradigms. And I often use, okay, you're acting out of a paradigm from the 1980s. That's my big thing. We got to shift these 1980s paradigms. I think 1980s in regards to like thinking about acting and about art and about creativity, but also just about how we hold 1980s thoughts, these old paradigms that keep us stuck from who we really are, the potential of who we are. But I was talking to my friend today, Nicole Pijot. I like saying her name. She's amazing. She said it in a new way, and I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So I'm giving her a shout out. She said, telling these stories that are contradicting your heart is thinking about it this way. Those paradigms are on an old PC model, and you are now on a Mac. Your operating system is a Mac, people. Why do you keep rebooting that old IBM? Send it back to IBM. Send it back. Download new software. Reboot. Get caught up with your new operating system. It's 2013. Those paradigms don't serve you. Stories that contradict your heart do not serve you. So here's your homework. Simple as tell different stories. No, here's your homework. Be mindful as you hear yourself weaving stories based in fiction. And what would happen if you just chose to act out from the heart instead? It's going to be hard. Just do it. You must start acting out from the heart space more. That's the first thing, and you all know what I'm talking about. Heart space could be relationships. The heart space could be doing things that scare you. The heart space could be expressing love. The heart space could be telling somebody you appreciate them. The heart space can be having a communication with your agent if it's not working. Heart space could be having a communication with your agent if it is working and you're really thankful for their work. There's so many opportunities to create story from the heart. But we don't do it because we keep spinning those stories, those disconnect stories. Then the second part is as you get snagged in life, like you will, hopefully you all have a friend who can call you on it. I think that's really important. It's so boring. When I hear myself talk about those stories that are contradicting the part of my heart that wants to create, God, who would put up with me? You have to have friends who are going to call you on your shit. As annoying as it is just to say, did you just look at each other? Yeah. You're telling a story that's disconnect from your heart. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. But it's amazing. But it's the truth. Guys, there's no payoff in it. There's no payoff in it. You gotta get rid of the ramblings of this stuff. 70, 80,000 thoughts a day. Just think about it. It's a lot of junk thoughts. You don't need it. Dump them. Dump them. Dump them. Reboot. Reboot. New operating system. OS 10. Is that what we're on now? OS 12? 2.0? 1.5? 5555? Okay.